as a collector / vendor, you have to be very picky about what your PC, because you could easily fall into the age trap where, oh, that's cool, I'll keep that. Oh, that's nice, I'll keep that as well. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very thoughtful of your selection. Mine's Magikarp and Gyarados and Cubone. And I just added the Cubone because I saw a EX Team Rocket Return Cubone, top 36 that I love, man. And I got Cubone right here, buddy. Like, so I'm like, those three, that's it. I swear, that's it. I saw the Psyduck and Pikachu, and I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I should get that too. Sell it. I had to sell it, man. I can't. Bro.
I knew your eyes lit up. I was like, wow, I've never seen that.
That was the Chinese card that I was like, I want to have it.
I knew you would like it. That's why I was like, man, I got to hook up for you.
And being a vendor, right? Being a vendor in and of itself is amazing, because I would touch cards that usually I wouldn't have. Yeah. Right? In a sense that, like, I make these cards liquid, right? So if I was just a collector, right, I'd have a certain amount of cards that would cost a certain amount of money, and that would be like a static asset. Whereas now that I'm a vendor, I'm selling these cards, and now I can acquire other cards. Yeah. Right? And to sell them. So I may not keep it forever, but I had that card at one time. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I felt, even just in this few months.
I kept it for a week. Yeah. I literally kept Psyduck for one day.
Yeah, I know.
For one day, man.
So let's talk about that, because again, I really want to like get into your brain about that, right? Because I knew exactly how much you pay for it, right? Yeah. So let's just say 80%, right? Yeah. That's what you came in on. Yeah. So again, I'm struggling to understand the math, the science behind it, and I'm sure people who are watching at home are feeling the same way. If you bought something at 80%, and let's just say you're selling it to somebody else who want it for 80%, and you say you gotta move, where are you making the margin? Or do you have to be like, okay, does it make sense for me to buy at 80%, and now I have to sell it at 85 minimally?
So it all comes down to your strategy, and no one size fits all, right? Okay. And different cards dictate different strategies, right? Okay. Like, right, so like higher end cards, you probably want to maximize your return, right? And then like lower end cards, why don't you just move it at volume, right? So why don't you just like, hey, I'm gonna move these cards really fast. Like, okay, I have $1 card, I'm 70 or 85 cents in it, right? Right? So I'm about like, let's say 80%. Let's keep it. I'm 80%, 80 cents in it. So a 20% return, right? I do that 200 times. Yeah. Right? That's what, like $20 or something like that, right? Now I have a $100 card, and I'm in it $80, and I sell that. Same thing, right? It's just the amount of transactions. Yeah. Right? It's the same return ROI, return on investment. It's just that it's the number of transactions. So that's why I tell people, like, you got to choose a strategy, right? And the more pricier a card is, more than likely, the harder it is to get. More likely, the less people want to move on the price of the card. Yeah. Right? Then that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. So you have to choose, like, or you don't. If you're big enough, like, let's say you're just like the hottest shot, you could do all the strategies. Yeah. But like, for us mere mortals, you gotta choose your strategy. You know what I mean? Like, how do you want to approach this market? Right? Because, like they said, right? You could be a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? But like, if you don't want to like succeed, you might just get caught up and do like optimization for a $1 card. I'm not budging off of $1 for a $40 card, right? Now, how dumb does that sound? That's like 90-something%, and you're not going to sell a card, right? Right. But like now, so would you budge off $1 off a $40 card? Absolutely, right? Because you sold it at like 90. Let's even just say 98%, right? I don't know the math, but you sold it at 98%, right? But now, would you budge off $1 off a $2 card? Right. No, because that's half. That's basically half. Right. So now you just have to see where you're at and the strategy you're at, because you could give a certain amount to a certain thing, but it just depends on your strategy and what part of the market you're targeting. Yeah. Unless you're targeting multiple parts of the market. Yeah. I feel like there will always be an economy for Pokemon. I feel like there are investment bros and people who shill bid stuff up just to make a quick buck and everything. And you have to be weary of prices that shoot up or inflate abnormally, right? So that's another part of the market you have to watch out for. But I also believe that Pokemon is forever, man. Right? Yeah. Like there's like, and look, they're like, they're gonna flood the market with Pokemon. They're gonna flood it with this and that, and it's gonna be a bear market again and everything. And I'm saying good, because the lifeblood of Pokemon is not the secondary market, it's the collectors. And the only way to keep this community sustainable and growing is to get the youth and the younger generation. Pokemon doesn't care that, like, even let's say even Pokemon doesn't care that this Van Gogh is worth $1,000. Mm-hmm. It doesn't care. At the end of the day, it doesn't care, right?
Right.
What it cares about, we still got the older generation collecting.
It's the IP.
Hey,
the IP is what's important to them.
What we care about is, shoot, look, let's put product on Walmart, on Target, on everywhere else, so the younger generation, the new blood of the hobby, touches product. They don't. That's why they like Pokemon will purposely flood the market, oversaturated with modern product over and over again, because they want the kid that goes to the store with their parents to pick up that product, to open it up and see, like, oh man,
plan.
I got this
20-year plan.
I got this card. Yep. I got this card. You know what I mean? And then after that, then they become the adult that collects.
One day they're gonna get adult money.
You know what I mean? The first boom in COVID was what? It was the 90s kids, doing 90s kids things with adult money.
That's right, 100%.
Right, and then like right now, what's going crazy? Black and white, right? 5 years later, who was that? It's the same kids that are making
Scarlet and Violet
adult money, brother.
It's gonna be Benny.
That's it.
My daughter.
That's it. She's gonna be so into like the set. What's that? Gen 5 of Black and White.
Black and White.
Yeah, she's gonna be into that, right? You ask her what. Look, you could.
She's gonna remember Gen 5.
You could probably determine what she's gonna like. You just ask her what's her favorite Pokemon right now. Ask her why and what art she likes. Then it will determine, right, which generation, or not even generation, determine which card she's gonna like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
mean? 100%. One day they're gonna get adult money, right?
Yeah.
So.
And that's all it is, man.
Yeah. So Pokemon doesn't have the short side like the financial market, right? So when things are being pumped, it's quite frankly relatively safe. You just gotta know when to get out, like you said.
Yeah, you can't get out at the lowest point, and you can't get out, or you can't buy at the highest point.
Yeah, yeah.
Because right now, what's being pumped right now? The Greninja and Kingdra
promos,
right?
Kingdra promo, man.
There's no I'm not buying no Kingdra for $60. I'll tell you right now. And if you are, then you must know something that
I literally bought the last copy from you, I think. Right? Yeah, before the
and
pump.
Now you doubled, or
No, I already sold it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So yeah, man, you can't time the market, right? You just can't. You can probably like take chunks amongst the way, right? And sometimes like I have a crazy story, right? Like when World Championship was coming up, this is like mid-July, right? And I knew like all the Pika promos being pumped, like the red Pikachu, right?
Yeah, all the Growlithe ones. That thing was
whole bunch of it. Yeah. And this is when I'm like, man, I think I found an opportunity. Oh man, I bought 2 World Championship, the Yokohama one. Mm-hmm. I bought 2 at the highest price. Oh,
it was like $700 or something.
I bought on eBay, so I ate the tax. Yeah, it was like $660 plus tax. Oh, I ate it hard. So look, not all gamble pays off, right?
Yeah.
I was prepared to hold them for like eternity till like somehow like the next World Championship to pump again. But I eventually like got out, took a little bit of a loss on it. Not the worst, not the best, but I live and learn. I was like, okay, well the timing of the market is crucial. I gotta understand, like, okay, because my theory at that time was like, well, it is hitting aggressively 700.
Yeah.
Once it breaks 700, it's gonna go to 10, right? Like 1,000, right?
Yeah,
that's usually how it goes, but it never broke through the 7. I think that was the kind of the gamble, and then it didn't work out, right? But live and learn.
That card, I saw its potential.
Yeah,
and I didn't stick with it because I had some at 200. And I was like, oh, I think that's a safe buy. It's at least a $300 card, right? Or $400 card. And then I sold off like 250. I was like, I make my 20% and I call it a day, you know, whatever, right? Because with me, I don't hold unless it's sealed, right? We always hold sealed, and I don't speculate as much as people think I do, right?
Yeah.
If I can make my margins, I'm selling it. So like if I tell some of my friends or are in the vendor space, like what is your margins? Like, well, my margin is not that steep to where I need to make 30-40%. Like, no, if I make my good 10-15%, it's called rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah.
And it goes to like a lot of these like Twitch streamers and whatnot. It's like they make 10%, but they do it at volume.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, I don't do it every weekend like some of these guys.
Yeah.
I do it maybe once or twice a month.
Right.
Right. So if I don't move it, the market's gonna settle and I'm gonna lose that 5-10%.
Yeah.
But if I sell it now where I can already make my margin here and now, I'm gonna sell it. You know? And wherever is hot at the point, I'm gonna basically catch what's fire and sell it at the highest.
Yeah.
You know? For example, if let's say a Gold Star was good example is like Ghost Star Charizard, right? Everybody knows the Ghost Star Charizard.
Even I have one now somehow.
Yeah, right? It's like the 5 was going, let's just for example, the PSA 5 was going for like 3 or 4K. And I bought one at that price. Now it's like 4 or 5K.
Yeah.
And it's time to sell, right? Because then next thing you know, okay, if it goes to 6K, cool. The guy that bought it from me, congratulations, right? And now he knows that I hooked them up with the deal, or whatever cases, right? But if I don't sell and it goes back down, then I'm caught with the
right.
the
You're
losses.
caught with the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what my mentality is. And a lot of people is like, oh, I'm just gonna hold it, or I don't want to sell it. It's like when the opportunity is there, I'm gonna sell. You know, I'm gonna sell it. If the offer is right or the price is right, I'm just gonna sell it.
Man,
You know?
I have so many like questions as you're talking to. I have just so many questions already. I'm like, man, where do I want to branch out, man? I love just picking your brain, man. I think quick story too, right? Similar story. Last Collector Expos up in the Bay, I already have one Bubble Mew with me at the show, and somehow another one came in, and that was at the time when it was already going for 1,300.
Yeah.
And I got 2, and I was like, well, I made my good margin, and if somebody wants to come in, I'm gonna just sell it as soon as I can, because it's still at that time it wasn't proven, right? Yeah. So I was like, I don't know
scary, right? You're treading water. Like, what if it goes back down to 800? You're
exactly. And I was like, I got in the second Bubble Mew at a really good price, right? So I'm not gonna like hold on to it like that, right? So first guy came up to me and like, oh, I've been looking for this. I'm like, well, lucky day. Your lucky day, my friend. So whoever you are, I have 2. And you know what I did? I was like, look, comms is 1,300. I got 2. Straight up, your lucky day. I'll sell it to you right now for $1,150.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, done. Sold it. And now I'm like, oh, crap.
But you can't think like that.
Yeah.
Because if we think like that, then every single transaction I made back in the day, it's an old crap moment, right?
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, that was actually good, because what I started doing now with every show, I try to be surgical. And I don't know if I tell a lot of people, so you guys probably are the first ones to know. I used to just go into a show for the last like 6 months. I usually just go and show, not thinking much of it. Just like, okay, I'm a vendor. I go to show, done, right? Trying to make whatever, trade, sell, buy, whatever. Then at some point, I was like, man, it's kind of mindless. I don't know if I'm doing well. You're doing so many trade after trade after trade, and you're just like, you kind of lose track of the margin a little bit. Yeah. There's no exact math. I haven't found a single vendor.
I don't think anybody, especially at this volume, has like a good system to track.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You could take like all your notes, all your pictures, all you want. There's no exact way, because just the percentage of the trades, because then like unless you write every single thing down to the T.
It's not even that, right? Writing is one thing. Then processing it, figuring out your profit margin, and then on couple of trades later, right? Because when we're just not talking about the same cards over and over, right? Different cards at different value. You go up and down. All of a sudden, in 3 or 4 trades later at the same show, you're like, I don't know if I made money anymore, right? Like I got a bigger card, like that perceived to be more value. But so the whole point of it is like now I go into shows more surgical, and I tell myself like every single show I should walk in with a goal in mind, whether that is to acquire a certain card that I've been looking for, or to make X amount of cash when I walk out, et cetera, et cetera. I found that to be more meaningful in a way, right? Because and also strategically, I'm finding that to be more disciplined. Yeah, because I'm not just like, okay, I'll do any random trade, because if I'm trying to be cash heavy by the end of the show, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to buy. I'm just not going to buy random things. I'm going to say, okay, how much cash do I have? And that's exactly what happened with Collector Expos. I wanted to buy the lovebirds with cash. I didn't because it deviated, but I wouldn't have been able to done that secondary deal if I wasn't disciplined enough to just sell, make my margin, get the cash, right?
Because that's a good point, because opportunity, right? And if you're not ready, that ship is gonna sail. That's why every show you don't see like the background. Like I don't take any trades. Like if the trade is good enough, I'll take it. I'd rather you, and this is cutthroat, because I will tell them I trade at 70%. I'd rather you go sell it for 80, 85 and then bring me the cash. Because guess what? I could refresh my inventory and then I have cash to play with, right? Whether it's buy, seal, other slabs, or whatever I'm eyeing is undervalued, I'm going to buy it. Because if I don't have the capital to use, or I don't have that leverage, I'm just going to sit on my cards. And then I don't want to take in junk. Not that saying people trade junk. It's just like, it's not enticing to me, right? You bring me $200 slabs for my $2,000 slabs.
Yeah, you can give me 20 of those. It don't matter.
Great. I could trade at 80%. I make my 20% off your $100, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? You go sell it and you bring me the cash. Right? And I told a couple of buyers, and they're like, okay, because you could get more if you go somewhere else. And if my card that you want is still here, obviously buy it. If you don't, like it is what it is. Like not every deal is gonna work out, and not every buyer is gonna buy from you. That's
that's actually, you know what? That's actually really illuminating, because it goes back to the title of this, Gold Stars, right? You know the true value of your inventory, and you can command that value with no question asked. You're not just holding like the
altar,
or the tag team that's flying at the moment that can be replaceable.
That everybody has. Like if you see the lovebirds, if you go look at a show, maybe 10 people have a lovebird all of a sudden. But then does anybody have a what is it, like a more like a torch?
Right? Or Delta species, like low pop in the 16s, right? Or something like that.
And then the thing is, with these cards that are so low pop and so high in demand, your sale right now is old news next week. There's a new market next week or next day, right? So it's like
scary.
I'm not gonna risk it and take in some stuff that I'm just gonna hold while they lose value. Well, mine has the potential of increasing in value, even though I took it at a percentage. Right? Because I don't want what I say to my my other vendors. I don't want dead inventory. Right? Inventory. Correct. If I can't sell it for 1 or 2 shows, or there's nobody asking for it, or nobody's like, hey, can I see that? Or there's no offers, even though it's like market or under market. Because you'll see like my Instagram stories. Like I said, I care about market to a certain degree. But if I make my margins, a lot of my story sales are like, it's already priced under market.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Right? And then people will still want to come.
Man, you always bait me with those. I'm like, let me hit you up.
It's like maybe 5% or sometimes 10% under market, right?
Yeah.
Because I just want to move it. Because if it sits, it increase, it decrease, but I don't want to wait. I'm a rinse and repeat, And then I target specific things, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, then move on. Well, move on. Learn my lesson. Wow. And right now, I've been very fortunate that it's a lot of stuff that I target hits. Like the Bubble Muse, the Van Goghs, the 151, like the Altar Error tag teams. Gold Stars. So stuff like that.
So going back to something you touched on earlier, you say singles, and you still think single is a phenomenal way to start. So again, going back to what I said earlier as well, I got into PSA slabs, and I've actually very, very anti-singles because my philosophy, right? As you guys can see, you walk around my booth, you don't really see singles.
Never.
And that's because in my mind, I'm like, okay, why would I buy this imperfect, I don't know, Rayquaza VMAX from, Evolving Skies for like almost freaking like $500-$600, and knowing that it's not gonna get a PSA 10, what am I sitting on that money for? Because look, the person who are coming to my table, either they already had a PSA 10 version or they already have a singles version, right? What would make somebody want to come buy that copy? You know what I mean? That's my mindset, and that's
there are some singles that are just absolutely terrible, and I would recommend you stay away from unless you can get it for a good price, like Rayquaza VMAX, for example. Why just go buy the 10?
High-end singles are tough. Super high-end singles are tough.
Yeah, and vintage is different because there's claim sales and stuff like that. And, you can sell that to streamers. That's our out for that. But Sword and Shield alt arts that are raw, that are ungradable, is very very tough. So those generally, unless we're buying a lot of singles and it's part of that lot and we need to buy it to secure the lot, then we don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
But generally, singles for us, the margin on singles is much higher if you're able to get lower cost singles.
Sure.
Right? Because you have to look at liquidity points. It's not let's say we have, let me think of a card. Let's Whale Lord, right? You were talking about Whale Lord earlier. That's a what? $10 card?
Yeah.
$12 card?
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly.
You really think if you sticker for $15, some average collector is going to care?
They don't. And here's my argument, right?
Right.
You say 15, they're like, well, can you do 12?
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Right?
Right.
And then there's also if you buy it, if it's worth 12, you can probably obtain it for
$8.
$7 to $8.
Is it realistic in this market though? Because I even feel like when I go shop now, right? At least in Southern California, again, we're talking about location matters, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'll be like, hey, can I get that? They're like, nah.
No, you got to do it's got to be walk-ups.
A lot of people want to trade up their singles into either slabs or just want to dump a whole binder.
Vendor to vendor deals are
horrible.
we especially in Southern California, we stay away from vendor to vendor deals right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Most of the time when a vendor walks up, I'm not rolling my eyes because I love talking to my homies. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's I know we're both trying to. It's the same. We're in the same game. We're both trying to find leverage on each other, and it's just not going to work. Sometimes it does, right? Let's say I have an outlet for this, and you have an outlet for this, and we exchange ways, and that's equitable, right? But a lot of people think you could just walk. It's like before, you know what I mean? You could just walk up to somebody, just dump your trash, straight trade. Oh, I will only take straight trade.
Yeah,
I'll do 95%, but that's max. It's
doesn't exist, man.
No, I agree. And people will learn when things aren't as liquid, you know?
Yeah. I find myself ending up in the same place as well. Now, when vendor comes, especially the ones I don't even know, I don't feel bad. It is just what it is. I don't even say hi. I'm like, psh. I'm just as they walk in, I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
No, I'm not selling it. You telling me what's the lowest? Do you not see the sticker? That is the lowest, right? What do you think?
Shoot me an offer. It can't be the buyer and the seller. It can't be the one who negotiates. Or it can't be the person that talks you down and the
yeah, exactly.
seller as well.
And our business strategy has totally shifted. Before, the Sigmas were known to pay the strongest. You know what I mean? You want to offload some low pop thing that you can't move. Sigmas will pay the strongest.
Yep, right? I remember that.
You want singles, that you want to offload some singles that you just can't really get rid of. Sigmas will pay the strongest. But now that everyone's paying the strongest and everyone wants top dollar, we've changed our mindset. We're not buying in anymore unless it's the low.
Yeah.
And then we know we can move it for a different price, right? And we're not asking the highest because we want to be standouts. Yeah. Essentially, all we're doing is we're trying to just be standouts. We're trying to be different than everybody else, right? And if you're different than everybody else, then people will gravitate towards you.
No, that's a very smart strategy. And I find myself always reinventing myself. It's kind of how I see it. And sometimes I'll see myself oh, I'm gonna PC stuff. But that's because I was I don't know what's next yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me just buy Moonbrians and hold those because they never devalues.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like buying Microsoft stock, just keep it in the same pace and it just keep moving up slowly.
Yeah, it's like a S&P 500 type thing.
100%.
That's sealed to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's just the ever appreciating thing that is stability.
It'll just always do great. Always do great.
Yeah, I put a lot of my money money in sealed. I know a lot of it's very popular right now to put money in sealed.
It is,
especially like old like XY Sun and Moon sealed.
Well, I think the team up box really set the precedence.
Yeah,
for it.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's really what started the whole climb of every
100%.
led the market.
100%. I mean, it went from like 5,000 to like 10 in like a month.
Mhm.
Right?
100% appreciation is like ridiculous in any market. A lot of any market analyst would tell you that there's a term for it. You probably know because you were in the trading thing, but the risk ratio is just so high. Sure, the asset could appreciate more, but the risk that you have,
100%.
the tolerance is just like
Well, because it parabolics, right? That's the term. It parabolics up. And
it's parabolic.
The fall is it's just going to be crazy.
Yeah, and then based on the percentage that's appreciated and the amount that it's already at, there's only so much more it could go, and what the volatility rate is. So, you know what I mean?
Right. You always look at like the parabolic and then the liquidity of getting out, right? Unless you're comfortable holding it, you don't want to be the guy bought at the top and then but now you're holding at the top and locking up that capital, right?
Yeah, and then it goes down a little bit, and then you have to make the decision to take your quick loss and then move on, or hope that it appreciates again.
Right.
And generally in sealed, it does. It generally does, especially if you are a very long-term mindset, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
But other than that, like a lot of people don't have that tolerance. They don't want to hold for 5 to 10 years.
No, nobody does. I mean, in this hobby, who wants to do it, right?
I do.
Yeah. Well, we are
I do.
a little bit different.
And you guys should too.
100%. No financial advice.
Yeah, it's not financial advice.
But okay, so let's get into talking about seal because I know you are probably super excited, and I'm sure you're excited too. The new mega sets.
Oh yes, bro.
We've been talking about it since like leaks. It's gonna be nuts. Megas was something that we were just like we would never say no. We would never say no to a mega. A mega got walked up. We try our absolute best to buy it. It's
They're like an XY mega card.
Yeah.
XY
Okay.
mega,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just love mega evolutions, bro. Mega evolutions are sick.
I'm like
Reinventing old Pokemon in a new form, like unbelievable.
Yeah. And like
Also, the era that you grew up with.
Yeah, the era I
XY.
grew up with, but I also think it's the like the greatest mechanic they've added to like the games too, like Z move. Not really like the what is it, terrestrial? Like it's cool competitively, but megas are just sick. Like they're
Aesthetically,
so sick.
move wise, megas are just dope.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw a couple of episodes. I'm like totally like trashing megas.
Really?
Yeah. Well, my philosophy is, and this is me again, not like into megas in the old era. Okay.
Yeah.
So objectively speaking, for me,
Mhm.
it was, I'm thinking about going back to what you told me before, right? The market and the liquidity of it.
Yes.
The people who are chasing megas now, right,
Mhm.
are going to be mostly the new generation, the kids, the mom who's buying it, the hobbyists who just got in because of this boom.
Mhm.
So to me, in my mind, it was like somebody like that who wants to spend money, are they going to spend money in the omegas or are they going to just chase a shiny object?
So, okay, here's the thing about most of the Pokemon market, right? Which is crazy. People, it's the vintage stuff is mostly a money play. Most of the people that are buying it, some people are
100%.
collecting it, but majority, 80% of people are money oriented. So people see the new Mega set and they're thinking, oh, dollar signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should buy the new Mega set because it's going to pump up the popularity. But it's not pumping up the popularity with the new buyers, the kids, the moms, whatever, because those people are priced out.
Exactly.
It's only pumping it to the people that are trying to make money
Amongst each other.
So it's just people stacking money on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
So new collectors will chase the new megas. Old collectors will chase the old megas because they're more money oriented, right? And they don't see, like, everyone sees a new set and they're like, oh, don't touch a new set, right? Jarchomp says it, Bulbasaur says it, all the big vendors on YouTube say it. Don't touch a new set when it first comes out because obviously, like, the demand is peak and then it goes down.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? So money-oriented people won't buy it, but money-oriented people will buy the older stuff, which is why we're seeing such a high mega evolution market, right? All the megas are just so highly priced.
For those old megas, like, yeah, it might take a hot minute for you to move it,
Yeah.
but you also have those collectors that are really dying card.
Yeah.
So you can get like payout for them.
Because they are rare too.
They
I
are rare.
know a
They're low
lot
pop.
of mega collectors that are looking for those cards. You know what I mean?
Like Mega Gardevoir from Primal Clash,
Yeah.
like pop 8, pop 9.
I mean, that's such an outlier too because it's such a rare card. It's like ridiculous.
Or like the other
That card's that card's probably like 4,000 or 5,000.
yeah, like some of the megas are just criminal.
Yeah.
Like the Primal Groudon, the Primal Kyogre.
There are collectors who want it, but like I said, 80 to 90%.
So this is a lesson I've learned, guys. Very, very important lesson coming out of front row was understanding that once you acquire a card, it's your card, right? And I've said this before. You don't have to sell it. If the price is not right, don't feel FOMO, fear of missing out of that transaction. Because sometimes it's a bad transaction for you, right? I have had bad transaction that comes to my way, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Why am I doing this? And I turn it down. It's okay to turn down transaction because you just don't feel right about it. That goes back to that intuition.
Right.
You know? So that's what happened because I literally had one vendor beginning of the show, you remember, walked up, how much is it? I say 8. And he's like, oh, somebody's selling for 6 over there. And I'm like, then why don't you just go get it over there, right? Why are you here to trying to hustle me?
No, for sure.
Right?
But that's a lot of impact, like external impact got to me because we never had
Aligned.
such a expensive slab.
True.
And I had no idea what he was doing with it. I was like, for me, again, thinking money, I'm like, well, if I got in so low, if I sell it now, I still make money, right? But Alan was just waiting for the card to kind of grow a little
Appreciate,
bit. We
right?
literally had it for like a day, right?
Right,
Like
right,
a day. And then we took it to Pasadena, Fun Row. So then I started freaking out. And then I think on the way back, well, towards the
Well,
end,
not even so. So hang on. So just the detour of the story, right? At the end of that same day, the same vendor who like, oh, somebody sell it for 6K over there, came back and like, you still have it at 8K? And I'm like, yes. What changed between that, you know? So in my mind, because I don't think we even talked about this.
No.
In my mind, I was like, oh, this guy couldn't get it for 6K. I already know. Right? And I was like, no one in the right mind would sell it for 6K. I'm fine, right? Every vendor walk by, like, how much you have it. Because you know what? The reality is, and this is for guys and girls who are entering the Pokemon scene now. Every vendor, every person is trying to cook you. That's the reality of things, right?
pretty much.
Right? I said this before. Every transaction, there's a winner and there's a loser, right? Whether you come out the winner or the loser, and how much that differentiation is, that's up to you and your trading partner, if you will. People are going to try to get the best deal, right? Like I said, if I drop that card to like $3,000, it will be a fire sale and somebody will immediately snatch it. And then they will stick it at 8K. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. So not understand all of that. Back to the story. Towards the end of the day, we were driving back home. I was like freaking out, like totally freaking out on him. I said, "Oh man, I'm worried. Like, should we just sell it? I feel like nobody want it." Not knowing, you kind of have to see the market. We got into like full blown like fight, and then the next day, Alan was just kind of like,
stressed.
yeah, he was really stressed. So then I think the next day when we got back to the show, he took the poncho and went on a
Trade
trade.
it out. Because look, guys, and ladies, your business partner, whatever, right? Like, that's, to me, at least, the worst thing that could happen is my wife, my business partner, in this case too, is the only one who can ever affect me emotionally as a vendor, as a trader, right? That was when I was like, okay, this is not worth all of this, right? Because I treasure and I value this more than a stupid card at the end of the day. So I was like, fine. I just want to make this situation gone. So I went and traded the poncho first thing on Sunday, the second day of the show. And shout out, Jarchomp gave me a very fair deal. It's not something that he normally would own, but he took a chance on it. And I traded into inventory, basically, right? And I got some really, really good inventory that he has at a very fair price. So I really appreciated that. So yeah, I was able to get that, and I was like, hey, you happy now?
Yeah, pretty much. Just went from like we were having a good amount of inventory to like just one big poncho.
Yep.
And it's quite scary to me that what if for me, Poncho is only belong to somebody who's been vending for a long time, or one of those big guys who had like, money flow, cash flow. And for us, we such a small, start out as vendors. I'm like, well, can we handle this amount of cash or this big card? You know what I mean? What if we get stuck with it? So I'm over here trying to
overthinking.
Overthinking, which is very not helpful, ladies or gentlemen. I think after that big kind of fight that we had, we actually sat down and talked about where I think as partner, right, going in, I think you should always sit down and see where you can come in between. So we actually we never actually talked about how we want to do things, and we went, like I said, we went into Pokemon dive in, not knowing, no plans, nothing at all. I'm just like kind of being dragged along. So I told him how I felt, like, I need to see
result in progress.
Yeah, result in progress.
And
What's
money.
your portfolio? What's your money at? For me, when we have cash, that means we make money. But now I learn it's not that way, right? We came into a conclusion. I want to know when he take in a car or do a trade, I need him to write it down and the value of it, what he traded at, and then when he sell it, what he sold it for.
Yeah, and I'm still trying my best to keep up with like the multiple trades and sometimes money coming in, out, multiple trades, multiple people wanting things and stuff like that.
Yeah, mind you, before this big fight at Front Row Pasadena in June, we did not write down anything.
Yeah, correct.
So from that show, I said, okay, we're gonna separate your stuff and my stuff. You're gonna have your own thing. You're gonna write it down, what you sold or traded out, value-wise, money-wise, cash, credit card, anything. And then we also track down what we spend, our spending, if we bought a car, whatever it's for, cash, whatever. We now tracking everything on paper. I'm such a visual person. Alan is not at all. It's all for my own peace of mind. I like to look at things and tally things up, and it just makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And it's just been helpful. A lot more. I don't freak out that much anymore, do I?
And I think more importantly, that what I've learned more importantly than the process of writing things down is like, if I take in a tray, if I buy a card, I kind of tell you what my plan is, why, the reason why I'm picking that card, why I think it's good. I think that really helped kind of make you understand at least a little bit at the moment, because it's chaotic, right, at the moment of it.
No, it's very chaotic at shows, at time, and half the time I don't even know what he takes in or what he sold. I think it's just helpful for me to kind of like have an idea of why he's thinking at that moment. I think to the point now, 3 months in now, I think we're pretty good. We're pretty trusting of each other, right?
Yeah, coming out of Front Row, right.
Yeah, coming out of Front Row, I think it's normal, guys, to go through this up and down.
What would you tell people who may be inspired to open a card shop? Tell them the brutal truth, right? And also tell them pros and cons, please.
Okay. So if you like playing card games and you like collecting and you like, opening packs and that, don't open a card shop, because like, we talk about this on side note, but like, I'm numb to cards now. Like you open this what's in the hot card, the Charizard or the gold card from Pokemon? Oh, cool. I see money. I don't see the pool, the chase, whatever. And also, I'm not a gambler, so it doesn't really matter to me. But like, you just lose the fun in it, the spark, the joy.
Desensitized.
Yeah, kind of. Because then now, like, oh, I gotta sell that to make my money back, right? So like, you kind of desensitize. You lose the joy of it. And then if you're a player, you don't get to play anymore. Like I said earlier in the segment, I don't get to play card games anymore. All I do is work and make sure that the players are having a good time. Yeah. So like, if I never opened the card shop, I would be able to play, right? Because every time I'm working, I'm actually playing. So yeah, that's the harsh truth, that if you're looking to make to open a shop to get more distributors, to get more products, like, you're not going to be open that product. You're trying to make money back to do that.
And even now, right, distributors, it's even if you have a shop, right?
Yeah, you're not
get the location. You're not gonna get. You don't have the relationship built, right? That's the honest truth, right?
Yeah.
We're not discouraging it.
Yeah.
But that's just the absolute truth.
Yeah. So we'll talk about distributors later. That's a separate segment. But yeah, like it's just not worth it if you love doing, like, just having a good time casually doing it. The pros is that there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money to be made. But besides that, jokes aside, is like the community. I love the community. It's just watching, it's cliche, like kids come in and like open packs, like, oh my God, it's like, I feel the joy when they open the pack now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, oh, you open, oh shit, it's nice. So like, that's for the joy, and then being able to provide people with product, like, oh, I couldn't find this card anywhere, but you guys had it, like, thank you. Like, and then having parents come in thanking us for helping their kids out, and having players come thank us, because like we have a place for them to play. We always have like we have a team now of One Piece players, and then we send them out to go to events because they cannot financially afford that to go travel. So like, so that all comes from like, from catering to the community, because I would never have done that, because you don't make that much money off of sending people to go play, but like I want them to have experience, because I never got to do, right?
Yeah.
And like there's like 18, 19-year-olds that just came out of high school, college, wherever, and they just want to go play. So
just like you're living off your
exactly,
dream
yeah, exactly.
to them, just like how I do with my daughter, right?
Exactly.
Like, go live your dream. Tell me about it. Tell me what I could have done.
Exactly. So so that's the pros. Like it's all internal pros. It's nothing too crazy for money wise. But
yeah, I think I definitely today right before we filmed this, NurseJoy did a PSA event collaboration in partnership, and we hosted a kind of like a mini TCG Pokemon
pop-up market.
Kind of like a show and tell with PSA to kind of show all the kids in the hospital what it's like to collect, what is it like to kind of preserve a card, the quality, the condition, and all of that. And of course, thank you for sponsoring us. No, you guys came to major, because you guys gave us like Phantasmal Flame ETBs. When I was like, man, I gotta give this kid a kiss.
Hope you're pulling the kid.
I was like, I'll trade you out.
Evolutions.
I was like, let me trade you out 80%.
No. You like money, kid?
No, right? You got like prismatic pack. I'm like, man, I was like, what is one of these
Brilliant
kids
stars,
like a god pack?
Brilliant
stars,
Yeah.
It was like really crazy. So I really appreciate that. And then when we gave her the price, right, they had so much joy, right? Especially in this market where you literally cannot find product, right?
Yeah.
So they were able to get some product, so it was very, very cool. And then when they opened it, they had just pure joy. And it was so funny because I wanted a girl, right? We wanted them to experience like all the TCGs. So in one of the gift bags, I put in like a god pack in there.
Did you?
Yeah. So it wasn't nothing like crazy, because we want to make sure like everybody gets kind of equality, right? I don't want to go crazy on one kid. So I put like all EX, like all shiny gods in there essentially.
Okay,
And then we wrapped it up, and then she pulled it, and I told her, I was like, oh, did you know this is like the special one? And she's like, what? And she looked at it, it's like, oh my God, it's all shiny.
Hollow,
Yeah, she's like, this is the coolest thing. I'm like, yeah, there you go. I even gave her a full art at the end, man.
Oh,
like, come
my
on,
God.
man. So her eyes like lit up, so that was like super awesome. But
Yeah.
Sorry for the detail, but that was cool. And again, thank you so much for sponsoring us. So yeah, you definitely, I can see that you guys do it for
because then I actually told Kristen, like, you don't have to put her name anywhere. Like, I don't care for the clout or anything like that. Like, I know she's doing it out of her good heart, because first time I met her, it's like, oh, I do it for the kids. I'm like, oh my God. well, a pure one over here, man. How did Alan get this one? How did Alan get this one? So I always try to help her out, and it's just it was easy.
The real question is, how does NurseJoy get this one, man? This one is this is the heart and soul of the family. All right? I'm the slave, guys.
So like it's good people helping good people. It's easy to say yes.
So it's super awesome. We would love to keep partnering you guys.
The thing is that she didn't even ask. I offered, and it was also easy to me offer too. So I was like,
Yeah, so it was awesome. But yeah, I think like as we go to like different cities and different studios and stuff like that, we would definitely love to keep you guys, in the sponsor if you guys can. But yeah, it would be pretty awesome. But yeah, let's talk about the next thing, right, which is distribution. Right? We kind of talked about it a little bit. Distribution is definitely a tricky thing to navigate. So let's assume somebody say, I'm gonna ignore your advice, and I'm dead set on proving myself. I'm gonna open this shop. You're gonna be wrong, Dennis. What can you tell them about distribution, and how can you help them out?
Please prove me wrong. I'm all for entrepreneurship. If you guys, that's what your heart leads you. I'm always about passion. If that's what you're passionate about, go do it. I'm not gonna say you can't do it. But distribution. I'm sure there's many videos out there like PokemonHero and Alpha Investments. All these videos talk about distribution. I'll just make it clear. When you go on the website, that box you put in, you put any number you want on there. You can put 1 million booster boxes. You can put one booster box. You can put anything number you want there. You click send, submit, place order. Doesn't mean you got anything. Yep, it means you got zero, or it doesn't mean anything. You can order whatever amount you want, but it depends on how much you spend with the company that they'll give you that a percentage of the allocation, right?
Yeah.
So if you're 1% of their total spend of all companies that bought from you, then they'll give you, let's say the $100 came out, they'll give you $1 because 1%, mathematically that's what makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So there's stores that are buying non-TCG playoff stuff. So they buy board games, they buy miniatures, buy dices, they buy toys, whatever, right? Those guys have a spend history with the distributors. So they're going to get Pokemon before you are because you don't have any history with them. So like just because you open a distributor, you pass the first hurdle, but now you got to start buying stuff that isn't hot for them to get you a hot product. So that's the main thing, right? Game distributor, right now it's like almost impossible because everyone's closed. Everyone's closing shop. I was able to get the distributor for this shop because I had my other shop, and I said, hey, can you do me an honor, be my rep for my new shop? And they're like, yeah, we will. Because they know I've been with them for 10 years. I was there for the lows. I was there for the highs. I was buying Fusion Strike when it was 95, and they're still for 90, and TCG Player. And they told me, hey, Dennis, this doesn't make sense, but please buy from us. We'll take care of you later on. So
Later on came,
exactly. Later on came, and that's why we get those long lines we said in the beginning of the video, because we get a bigger allocation than most stores, because we've been around the block for a while. We're able to get a lot more than everyone else. I wouldn't say it's like amazing amount like PokemonHero, but it's enough to provide for my community, which is what I'm comfortable with, right?
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like you guys just kind of give it right back to the community.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And again, like. I run my, I have a local Discord, and I remember when you guys had the, I think it was Destin Rival launch, and you guys were like, oh, first, I forgot how many, 100 people, right?
Yeah, it was whatever until we ran out. It was enough for 100. Yeah, it was enough for 100.
And I think you were selling, if not MSRP, it was like pretty low. It was very, very low.
It was like in between MSRP and market, because we still gotta make sense, right? It was not a market, and it was like maybe $20, $30 over MSRP.
Yeah. It was very, very cool. And I didn't even I wasn't even checking like social media that day, but I remember people in my Discord, which is mainly from like Orange County, and they were telling me like, oh, ProjectCCG, because they didn't know I know you, right? So they're like, oh, ProjectCCG is doing this thing. Is anybody gonna line up? I'm like, what? Wait, what are they doing? So I check. I'm like, oh my god, Dennis giving out money away, man. I was like, let me hit him up.
I think I gave for you box, right?
I never did.
Oh, never did?
Not Destin Rival.
That's right.
Because I was like, okay, look. He's doing the thing for community. I would never, get into that. I want them to like have the recognition. So I was like, man, and it was like so far from me, right? So I'm so glad this store got open, by the way. So that's why I was like, hey, man, I think I hit you. I'm like, man, you guys are doing that? That's so cool, man. I was like, yo, good luck, man. Let me know whatever you need. And I remember seeing the next day, like all the social media
videos,
like, around the block. And I think ever since then, you guys have like lines.
Because they know. Also, like. We're helping people in the line too, so we're getting free packs in the line. So I think for what was the last set? The not past Mega, we were giving out 3 packs of Black Bolt. People in line, everyone in line that couldn't get a booster box, we gave 3 packs out. And I told I was looking at the video, my CFO, I was like, what are you doing, man? Obviously, I didn't say it, but I thought in my head, like, that's a lot of $30 to give me a person. But like,
you know what you need to do, right? I'm going to be the devil on your shoulder. Start giving away the battle style packs. That's how you get rid of the last case, guys.
So like, obviously, he was doing it for a purpose, because he knew the back end, we made so much money. Like, let's give it back. A lot of people in line, they couldn't get a booster box, so let's give them some back from the line. It's fine. And it was so crazy. I'm a side segue from the issue report question, but like, one of the customers in line, she was a nurse, so she had to go back to shift. So we gave a pack to her, and she messaged us, hey guys, I just got the pack and left. Can I pay for the pack, because I feel bad because I just left after getting the free pack? And we're like, no, just keep the pack. It's fine. She's like, no, I feel bad. Like, I want to pay for it. I feel dirty for just taking it. It's like, no, it's because we ran out booster box. We kind of explained to her, like, no, it's fine. You'll come back and you'll buy more from us. Don't worry about it. And then that's just how our community was built. Like, because we have a relationship with her, that we take care of her, she takes care of us. So for her to even DM us to pay for something that was free, that's crazy. That's unheard of. So I was like, wow. That's
normally people are just like, oh,
thank you. Thank you.
Let me get another one, right?
Like, only one? Like, so for her to say that, it was kind of crazy. So that's a community that we want to,
foster.
Foster. So that's pretty cool. But yeah,
that's awesome. But yeah, okay. So get back to the distribution part, right? Like, let's imagine if I want to open a store today, and I have a physical location. And
Yeah.
I'm like, great, I qualify.
Yeah.
Right. Just like you said, right. I'm going to go hit all these boxes. I'm going to say 100, whatever.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to get distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm coming to you and be like, Dennis, help me out. Like, if I'm just starting out today, right, and I don't have that track record, what is the best way for me to start building that relationship, start gaining traction, and ultimately what's the fastest way I can get some distribution?
Okay,
of
so
hot
distributor.
item?
Okay, so you're not like hearing this, but the fastest way to get distribution is running tournaments.
There you go.
Because tournament players buy sleeves, and sleeves is what moves when
Interesting.
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't move.
Nice.
So
Okay.
so sleeves is probably the fastest way you can get distribution. Buying random accessories, binders and whatever. That's why you see sometimes people sell like, oh, buy a box, get a free binder. He's like, oh, I get the box for over MSRP, but I have a free binder, so it's kind of equal, right?
Right,
But to them, they're just moving a binder that they were gonna buy anyway, so get higher distribution. So when you have a tournament store, like run tournaments, you're guaranteed a certain amount per set for certain things, right? So like pre-release,
Interesting.
you're guaranteed 3 pre-release kits per event, which
Yeah.
is like what's that? Like $500, $600, but that's a step forward, right?
Sure.
So maybe next set you'll get 4, next set you get 5, and then it builds up, and then with that, your players, they come buy sleeves, they come buy dices, they come buy water doesn't count because water's not a distributor. Sam's Club will be happy with you.
That would be the day if you need
Costco will be happy
distribution.
with
Yeah.
water.
You
That
need
would be the
distribution
day.
for water.
Yeah, but like you buy Lorcana, which you'll never sell because Lorcana is kind of not doing well as a over the counter item,
TCG,
but
yeah.
it's doing well as players.
Interesting.
What else probably will happen? Look at my wall right now. Yu-Gi-Oh, like it doesn't do well over the counter, but it does well for singles and it's doing tournaments. And like, every little thing counts towards your overall spend with that one distributor. So you have to diversify. A lot of these guys on your shows or your card shows, they're all Pokemon, right? They're all trying to get the new hot thing.
Oh, One Piece now.
Yeah, One Piece. Yeah, same thing. One Piece, right? So they're not diversifying, and they're not being able to put money a little bit here to build your Pokemon over here.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to do everything essentially.
Interesting.
And the only way you can do everything is running tournaments.
I know you are famous for having your little quote, which is collect what you like, sell the rest, right?
Sell the rest, yeah.
Love to pick your brain a little bit. Right now, crazy, volatile times. Some people say Pokemon is dead, right? It's never gonna die. It definitely is correcting itself, and as it should be. We all anticipated that. Love to get your take on the whole philosophy, right? From your perspective, it's a little bit more open-ended question, right? Pokemon for you, what does it mean? And specifically, how do you prepare for this maybe potentially change of times, right?
What does Pokemon mean to me?
Yeah. Important question. I feel like that's a very big one for you.
Yeah. I mean, the hobby of the Pokemon trading card game as something that you collect, it has, been life-changing for us, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that it's necessarily because, like, oh, the cards are so amazing that they've changed our life, but, like, the fact that there's a community of people who like to collect them and consume content around it and are excited about the next release or, excited about their next collection goal. And we have those kind of interests in common. That fact has changed our life.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can build a business around it, obviously, and a business that is both full of integrity, but also successful. Both of those things for me are important because, like I said before, you can make your money all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
But I think you should find a way that you feel good about and that you enjoy. And the fact that I've found that here in this hobby has been life-changing, and it's very exciting. But it's also because of that, and because it's comparatively unproven to other ways in this world to make money, such as having a corporate job like I have had before and you have now.
Yeah.
That way to make money and provide for a family is very proven, but this way is comparatively less proven. Less people are doing it, less people have done it. It makes me feel like I've taken a lot of risk in, leaving my career in order to pursue this. And so for the same reason that I really enjoy it, I feel like I really need to protect it.
Yeah.
And I'm also not as young as I once was. You know, I'm in a stage of life where I've been married for almost 10 years, and we're starting to think about, you know, having a family and, you know, where do we want to buy a house and settle down and plant our flag and that kind of stuff. And so it's not like I'm a single 20-something who can just, you know, try this and try that and kind of find out what they like in life. Like, time is ticking.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of time to work and to, you know, earn money in my life, but I'm not as young as I once was. Like some of these guys at the show who are, you know, in their teens or early 20s and just like absolutely killing it with their inventory and they're grinding and they're traveling every week. Like, I love it. I'm very impressed by it. And I'm in a slightly different position than them.
Sure.
And so I have to be thoughtful about that. And I also have to think about, okay, well, now that we have experienced some portion of success, what do I want to do with that success? Like, what's the ideal outcome for me if we can make, you know, a living and then some on top of, you know, our needs and what we want to put away for the future? Like, what would I want to do with that excess income or growth and value and our net worth and our investments and that kind of stuff?
Sure.
And the answer for me is I want to share it with my family. And the way that I feel like I can do that in a way that makes sense is to build a business where I could offer them a job to come and work with us and to build together and gain skills and to have a, you know, a non-ordinary way of making a living, but doing so with your family in an industry that is a little bit more whimsical and fun.
Yeah, and you get to just collect what you like while doing
at
it.
At the same time as you get to kind of build a business, you get to, you know, have a cool binder full of cards that you like, you know. And so I'm really enjoying the idea of pursuing a business that is successful enough to support multiple of my siblings along with myself, and then, you know, kids that we might have in the future. And because I'm thinking on that grand of a scope, I can't just be good at buying Pokemon cards. I also have to learn how to be good at business. I have to know how to protect our assets. I have to know how to invest for the future. I have to know how to navigate market changes. I have to learn about taxes and compliance, and you know, I have to refine our processes and know how to travel on a, you know, logistics, and I have to know about customer service, and I have to know about marketing and sales and social media strategy and a lot of stuff, right? So it's a lot of things to think about and to try to be good at or good enough at. And that kind of comes to your question about what does that background mean for my approach to a market that we have right now, which is in a correction. And I'm going to answer in two ways. One that's very specific and one that's more general. The specific way is what I have done is I have pivoted a lot of our inventory to be less speculative and more collector focused, because I think that an ever-present fact in our hobby is that there are people who want to collect cool cards. And are not necessarily thinking about, okay, I really hope that I buy this card today and it goes up in value and I can flip it in 6 months from now and make a profit, kind of like a, you know, cryptocurrency play. That has existed, and there's still some opportunities for that in our hobby, but it won't always be there. What will always be here in our hobby is people who want to fill out cool binders and do master sets and collect the Pokemon cards that they like. And those are the people, that's the marketplace that I want to be involved with.
Nice.
And so most of our business is around singles and, you know, finding those cards for people and, you know, buying collections of singles from people who are maybe moving on or moving out from the hobby and helping those singles find a new home with somebody else. And we still do slabs. I like to have some graded cards. I collect some graded cards, but it's not my sole focus right now, because I want to tap into and be present in a marketplace that's a bit more consistent. So that's the short answer to your question. The long answer is Pokemon cards are an enormous marketplace, worth billions and billions of dollars, and with billions of dollars of them transacting every year. And in that environment, they are comparable to a market. They are comparable to a market like stocks.
Yep. Very, very similar.
And the stock market is, in the near term, the 3 to 6 month term, the movements are almost all predicated on sentiment. They're all predicated on how people feel, or about, what people think some macroeconomic factor is going to do to the economy in the future. They're speculative. That's guessing. It's how I feel. And that's going to change the market value of an individual stock in a short period of time. But over the long period of time, stocks and their value are based on fundamentals. And they're based on if businesses can turn a profit, and if they're operating well, and if they have a good product, and if their marketing strategy is tuned in.
Consistency.
And leadership approach, and those fundamentals, right? Yeah. Financials. And in that way, what has happened in Pokemon cards over the last few months is not surprising to anyone who has any experience with a market like stocks.
Yeah.
If you have experience with a market like stocks, then you know that when things go up aggressively in a short period of time, it will almost inevitably mean that there will be some correction, and that the line is never straight and up to the right.
Parabolic.
It's always with ups and downs. But if you believe in the fundamentals of the products and of the underlying items, you believe that over time that they'll continue to be up and to the right. But in the short term, there's lots of little zigs and zags, up and down, peaks and valleys. And if you have a business approach to interact with a marketplace that is moving like this every few months or every 6 months or every year, and your only way to make money is when things are increasing in value, you will not survive long.
Yeah.
You need to create a business that can thrive and has sustainable impact in whatever kind of market environment. Does that mean that I've been really excited about repricing all of my cards downwards for the last few months? Like, no, I don't love that. It's way more fun when you look at your card and you're like, oh, this is worth way more than I thought it would be, when I bought it.
Yeah.
Like, that's really exciting. But for as many times as there are of those, there's times where you have to reprice things downwards. And you need to have baked that into your margins. You need to have prepared well enough. You need to be capitalized enough. You need to have an emergency fund. You need to have an approach for different markets. You need to be able to adapt.
The sales channel you talked about,
a new
right?
Sales channel, maybe, right? So and for some people, they've reacted in a way where they've pivoted their entire inventory over to one piece. And okay, maybe that's what they want. I don't want to do that, but maybe that's what they feel like they need to do to survive for their business. And I wish them luck. But you need to be able to make decisions to survive in any market environment.
Nice. No, that's this is actually. You're like one of the first guests on here that kind of broke it down to more of a scientific level, right? And I've always told this to people too, right? Like, I do equate Pokemon the way it has been, at least for the last 11 months, to very much like the stock market, right?
It has to be, because it's a marketplace made up of people.
Yep.
Right? The values involved in the items are supported by human beings.
And completely perceived at that, right? Because at the end of the day, it's $1, less than $1 card, right? I always said that Pokemon cards in this go around is very much what the NFT was supposed to be, right? Like a commodity that is tradable, that is an art, right? But it's just a physical art that you're passing around with that monetary value.
I like that comparison. At the end of the day, that's the same thing you could say about the dollar bill, right? We're talking about something that we've agreed has shared value, and it has some sort of certification on it. It has some sort of transferability, and you can't just create them yourself and forge them. Like, that's all it really is. And we've decided that, you know, they have value because we have a shared past of having that hobby in common with each other.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with collectible coins and other cards and sports jerseys and art and instruments and sneakers. It's all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Because you say your listeners say you make riskier play, and Jake is the one that's more structural, right?
Well, in the beginning, I was saying I'm more. I think Jake is willing to make more riskier plays than I am with his money.
Yeah.
I have to be very like,
Calculated.
you know, I do this full time. So it's like if I make a bad play, that can affect, you know, my family and stuff like that.
course,
So it's like I need to make very structured plays if I'm going to make a play. You do, I feel like, have a structure, like a method to your madness. But the fact that you're only a year in, dude, I wasn't messing with first edition Venusaur PSA 9s and like gold stars my first year in the hobby. So like you have to be doing risky stuff to get there. But you're getting there, so you're doing it.
It wasn't risky at all. Like, I think I proved to you this weekend that it was not risky, in fact.
Because I guess...
You know what I'm saying?
Right, because each step, you were really only like...
I have always been
bouncing,
in the positive. I've always been in the positive.
Yeah.
So those riskier play, if it doesn't play out, I'm not getting wiped out. If that makes sense.
No, I see what you mean. Like, even if the gold star dropped, everything you're in on to get to the gold star is so far under the gold star that...
Where it would have dropped below that threshold.
Right.
Okay, guys, like, this is something I've talked about before. So I don't know if you know this. During the pandemic, I did 6 months of day trading. And I did short selling when it was the hottest bull market that the world have ever seen.
How did that go?
I didn't lose money.
Wow.
I'll tell you that much. So I was betting against the current and I didn't lose money for like trying to do it full time for 6 months. So I understand something from day trading, which is human psychology. That's all it is. At the end of the day, Pokemon trading card game, this is literally the same thing as a stock market, right? If you want to draw that correlation, I think Jake talked about this too before. And you can see the human psychology of it, and you can make those calculated risks, and it will pay off. And like I said, the human psychology here, for example, that I have in mind, right? Why did I acquire the gold star? I came in at an actual differentiation. Like, okay, we can have a full debate about like what the actual com I came in on versus what value, what true dollar amount I paid out of pocket to get those value to trade into the gold star. I think that's two separate conversations. People don't understand that, right? True comms, I probably gave that gold star like $8,800. But what I'm in on that 8,800 for making multiple successful trade before, way lower. Right. So you have to understand that duality of that conversation and separate it, right? So in value to value, market value wise, I probably didn't get the best deal, but because I made enough successful gains along the way, in all honesty, let's just say it's not that I'm trying to hide the numbers. I just don't even know what number to tell people because there's so many transactions. I want to say loosely, I'm in on that card lower than 5K.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But see, okay. So to build off what you're saying, the thing is, think about the stuff in my showcase that you got to see since we vended side by side. I feel like I wasn't moving as much stuff as you.
Yeah.
But using the logic you just said, I would have traded pretty much anything I had in my showcase for stuff that I feel like was valuable. If, you know, especially if I'm trading in at a percentage, usually around like 80%, like sometimes more, like depending on the stuff. But the argument there would be everything in my showcase I personally collected or I got when it was like way cheaper. So I'm in on it all really good. Yep. So if I trade any of it or, you know, sell any of it, I guess it's like a win,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Right. But I didn't I feel like I didn't move it, or like nothing was really like churning or going as fast as like some of the slabs you had in your showcase, and moving, even though I had stuff like we pointed out before that even other customers were saying they didn't even see anywhere else on the showroom floor.
Exactly. So that's the part where like we talked about a little bit, right? Like I feel like your thought process and your mentality is like, I need to go for Hail Mary because
I know.
because these are so personal to me that I value them high. So there's a huge difference, right? And that's the part where I think as a vendor, we have to understand the economical factor of this market. I'm not judging my cards that is not in my PC. Anything that's out in the showcase, I'm not judging how much I valued it at. I'm judging how much the market value those cards at.
Well, no, I've got everything at market value, and I'd be willing to do stuff a little bit less depending on the deal. But it wasn't like there was a lot of people coming to my table to be like, oh, can we work out something for this card or this card? I mean, there were a couple, just, you know, not enough to where I think I was churning, like making $1,000 after two or three transactions, like what I'm sure you felt like you were doing, like once you had stuff moving.
When I say value, I don't mean dollar. I mean desirability. You have stuff that a true Grail collector or true One Piece player collector would absolutely desire and would absolutely kill for it. But 99% of the general public do not care or even understand or fathom the importance of those cards.
There are certain cards I have that fit. I know what you're talking about. Like the event finalist cards fit that description perfectly.
You remember that
those have been always undervalued.
You remember that one exact scenario where you had to explain to that guy what the difference between the champion Uta and the regular Uta, and you had to explain it to me too. You even had to explain it to me. You see, that's exactly the point. A championship versus a pre-release winner versus a finalist card is all just a stamp to a regular consumer. Why am I paying that extra $700 for it? You have to justify that to an average consumer who are getting into One Piece because it's popping off right now.
The idea that like there's a Zoro, a top 16 regional prize card. Where it's a cool looking Zoro. I bid on it when I first saw one BGS 10 go up for bid. It ended at 1,000 something, like maybe 1,050, just over 1,000. And I kept my bid at 1,000, I think, because I was just like, I'll hopefully win this card at 920, maybe 950. But if it goes over 1,000, I'll wait till I find one that's like under. And then suddenly I stopped seeing the card
just shot up
online. I didn't see any go up for auction. Man. It was so hard to find it. Then I think now there are sales where like it started to go up to like 1,600 privately. And then I think now there have been last solds. I think I saw a story post. I can't remember who posted it, where it was like closer to 4 or 5K, but I don't think it's worth 4 or 5K. I think that's ridiculous because I had gold 10 Zoros of another card that are now up to almost $2,000, $2,500. But I won them all at like 560, 570, like in BGS 10. And then I actually, maybe a month or 2 or 3 ago, put one up at auction. It didn't even break 1,000. But then in these last 2 weeks, suddenly that card is trading for like 2,500. So I should have waited till now to like, you know, auction it off. But I couldn't have known. But the point being, sometimes sometimes getting some of these grails early, I'm just kind of like, I never know if they're going to drop, but I do know if I hold that card long enough, it will never be lower than what I'm going into it for now. And so my decision was like, if I have to hold it, I'll hold it because I want it in my PC, you know, for life, you know, like I don't want to get rid of it. If someone gave me like an offer I couldn't refuse, I guess obviously I'd consider it. You know, I would take it with the mindset of thinking I will use some of this money to try to find another one to get it back into my collection, hopefully for cheaper. You know,
I feel like a lot of people think through that, but I feel like that's the wrong mindset. I
maybe,
feel like
yeah.
I personally, again, look, there's no right or wrong. We're always just having those conversations. That's what make everyone so different as a vendor, as a collector, right? I'm not one to just get out a card and immediately buy that same card maybe for cheaper and then have some extra cash, because I'm like, that's too much work for me. Why would I do that? Unless you tell me that I sell my card for some reason for like $3,000 and I'm getting $3,000 in value and I have the card, sure, then I'll consider. But if it's like $100 and $200, that's too much work, right? So for me, it's like, if I'm getting out of this card, I'm trying to move into something else I didn't have before using that realized gains value. And that's what my play is like. And I told you that earlier.
How do you know the stuff you might go into, that like stuff coming to your table that they want to trade for that is going to be stuff that's going to appreciate as much or more than that manga?
That's the part of the instinct, right? Part of that instinct, you saw it, like, again, not rocket science. You have, like you said, I think this is the last thing we'll go to the showcase here, but you talk about that Zoro card. I would say in your mind, you're like, man, just that extra 100 I don't want to spend. My instinct, listening to that story, and I put myself in your shoes, I'm like, look, it's 100 and 200 over. I'm just gonna get it. I like it.
Well, no, I couldn't
see what I'm saying?
No, I couldn't have bought it. Like, looking back on it, if it was a buy it now, I think I would have pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
It was a bid. So I put in 1,000 and then, you know, I put it in at the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Someone obviously put in a higher number, so they won. When I saw it go to 1050, I immediately was like, oh, I'll bid more. Like, I was like trying to type in 1,200, but then it too late. It just ran out of time, you know.
And all of us as collector, all of us as vendor has or will have to deal with these type of situations.
Yeah, you just missed the deal.
We just missed, and not every single card can be owned by you. You have to realize that, right? And again, my philosophy is that I'm a conduit for me to get stuff. At a certain point, I get to go home with it and eventually say I had it, and it goes to somebody else's, and now I have other things. You can't collect them all, but you can collect them. You know, even Ash as the character. Let's go back to Pokemon. Think about the first episode. You think he had all these Pokemon characters, right? Like, as the series moved on, I don't know, he had like Greninja for like maybe like a season, and then he was gone.
You know what? That's kind of true.
You know what I'm saying?
They always talk about gotta catch them all, and he was like, I'm gonna catch one of every Pokemon. But I don't even think he got to like 15%.
No. And Greninja was
this is
out
the
of his
clip, by the way.
inventory.
This is
there
the clip.
You go,
We kind of knock Ash a little bit. Did he even get to like 50% of the Pokédex?
Yeah, Ash, what's up with that?
Yeah, I feel like I did better on my Game Boy than he did in the anime that he's in control of. Yeah, what the heck? What the heck, Ash?
But going back to my point, right? Like, the analogy here is if we're all Ash and we're collecting TCG card as Pokemon, even for him, he had Greninja, Froggy, whatever, like evolve into Greninja, and then went through that story arc. And at the end of the day, he say, "Hey, Greninja, we're good. You made it. You're going into the world on your own. I'm going my separate way. And eventually, look, we might cross paths again." And they did. But at no point did Greninja become his like. How does that even work, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing I want people to understand. It's okay to let go of your collection, because guess what? There are plenty of these cards printed. If you want a picture memory of it, you can go to any showcase any weekend and see that same card.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
The thing, okay, right. Could I see this card again? Yes, of course. I'm curious though, if there are certain cards, this is why I put so much emphasis on the event finalist cards.
Yeah.
Because like for out of those first event finalist packs, they only gave those out to people that went to the first national championships in the US for like the people that made day 2. Like basically the top 16 players. And I think I got like 1 pack or 2. And like first place got 3. And then everyone else was like 1, 2, like, you know, it was a very limited. Small amount. Very right. Limited, and then so total for all top 16, we got X amount. And then for the other English packs, I think obviously some other region like Europe got like X amount. And then, you know, maybe like Australia and New Zealand got X amount. And that's why they did the calculation of all the packs and all the variations, because it's just a 2-card pack.
Yeah.
The population of all the cards in them are just 52, roughly. And I think someone mathed that out. And that's why the Pointer Luffy, the event finalist version, is such a grail, because that's less of a population than even the serialized Luffy, of which they number that there's, you know, over 500 of the card. The fact that there's over 100. Yet the event finalist Luffy is just now getting, you know, attention. It's day in the sun.
Yeah.
But then there's all the other cards from the packs. And there's great characters like, you know, there's Sanji, there's Uta, there's Jinbei there's Frankie from those packs.
Yeah.
And then there's some characters that are less popular, but the cards are still rare. And so I am starting to like, when you talk about like, oh, you got to think about what other people want. They want the mangas and they want, you know, the SPs. I realize those boxes are still out there. 100%. And as they get opened, more of that supply is going to hit the market. But when you talk about like some of the stuff I have in my showcase, like the championship cards, a lot of the tournament cards, once they give those out at the tournaments,
it's gone.
They're done.
Yep.
That's it.
And that's what separates what we collect versus what we sell as a vendor.
Sure.
And I think that's we're gonna be a clickbait video. The title of this is gonna be I turned Robo into a vendor today. You know what I mean?
I know.
I think that's the piece, right? I
got a good vending.
Yeah, like my true PC. I've said this on my pod before. There's only really one card that I refuse to sell, no matter how much people offer me. Like it could be life-changing money, and I probably wouldn't sell it. And it's the Tag 10 Bubble Mew Japanese. It's not even worth a dang. It's not worth a damn compared to my current collection.
Right.
But me and my daughter pulled that card when we first got into the hobby, and we were like, this Bubble Mew was a chase, and we bought 1 box from Japan.
And you got it.
And we filmed it together, and we pulled it. That's just memory for me.
Yeah, that's sentimental value
for you. No, there's no price point on it, and it's not even a significant. There's not a finalist, not a limited. It's just that. To me, that means more than any monetary value amount. Everything else, again, I'm a conduit as a vendor. I can hold on to it. I can call it a grail. If it moves for the right price, for the right person who say this is my core memory and I'll keep that forever, hey, great.
Yeah.
That's what separates vendor as a collector. For me, like I have like a split personality of it, I guess, right? So. All right, guys, this is Alan with Pokemon Hero, and I am the host of the TCG Table Podcast. So this is the moment you all been waiting for. We have the Stained Glass Birds giveaway. All right, this is going to be the PSA 10 Stained Glass Birds, and we're going to be giving it away to one of you guys, lucky winner. This is how you're going to do it, okay? We are on the push to get our first 1,000 subscriber on the YouTube channel. So all you really have to do is subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, and then also like one of our videos, okay? So if you do all that, we are going to enter you into the drawing automatically. And we are going to be doing the drawing when we hit our first 1,000 subscriber. So stay tuned for that. And we want to give a big shout out to 9 Coins Collectible for sponsoring this giveaway. So good luck to you all. And we will see you guys soon, okay? Peace!